Okay, so welcome to this video of 10 things that I would change in Grow a Garden. Now, it's no secret there are a few things in Grow a Garden that just doesn't sit well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be going through 10 things that I would either change or implement into the game. But I've got a challenge for you guys. Before we jump into this video, what I would like you to do is jump into the comment section down below and let me know what would you change or implement into Grow a Garden. It could be very, very small. It could be very, very large. Just let me know. I'd be very intrigued, and if there's anything that's good, do you know what I'll do? I'll even do a video on it. So starting off with number one, and that is X-ray goggles, because when you're trying to get, like, for example, pollinated fruits or whatever it is, it's really, really hard. Now I know that there's that gun, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but what that does is that searches all pollinated fruits and then picks them straight away. But what if you don't want to pick them straight away? Like, almost every single fruit in your garden is going to be pollinated if you grind AFK. So that is one thing that I would most definitely add, is the ability to maybe, you know, search up or filter a certain mutation, and then it highlights all the mutations around so that you know just exactly where they are. Say for example, I'm looking for a honey glazed something, but it's on the floor, and normally they have an animation underneath it where the honey drips and you need it for the challenges. Well, maybe you could toggle the honey glazed like little section there, and then it's going to highlight all the honey glazed fruits around your garden, making life so much easier to find where they are, and that way it doesn't pick them all at the same time. That is just new. And moving on to number two, and that is the UI, to be able to see mutations. At the moment, the mutations box at the bottom, it is just incredibly small. You cannot see all the mutations on your fruit, and the only way that you're going to be able to see the mutations on your fruit is whether you haven't picked it yet, or if you send it via a trade to someone that you trust that they can take a screenshot and then send it back to you. Yeah, this whole UI thing, it needs a little bit of updating because you cannot see the mutations on your fruits whatsoever. Moving on to number three, and I reckon that a lot of people are going to agree with me on this one, and that is frozen mutation, the ice cubes. My goodness, they are the most ugliest thing that I think that I have seen in Grow a Garden. Like, maybe they should just do like a frosted sort of thing, so around the fruit, but having this whole entire ice cube thing around the fruits, it's just not my cup of tea. So that is most definitely another thing that I would change. I would completely get rid of the ice cubes, and instead of using ice cubes, I would use maybe a frozen animation, or like a little bit of frosting, a little bit of white going around the fruit, just to kind of show that it is frozen. Okay, so number four, and that is the recall wrench. Now the recall wrench is incredibly annoying. You have to put it in your section down in the little hotbar, and what I think that you should do is it should generate another button so that you can just simply click it as of when you ever like. Maybe like a recall wrench bar, do you know what I mean? I just feel like having to put it into your hotbar, clicking it and then clicking onto the screen, and then it finally takes you, like, I just feel like it's so pointless. Like, what is the point of having a recall wrench? Just put a button. No one wants a recall wrench. I have thousands and thousands of recall wrenches, and I'm sure that everybody that AFK grinds does the exact same thing, and money in the game could be going to a lot more interesting things rather than having to click a button to try and get to somewhere else. Now we have buttons to go and sell, we have buttons to go and find seeds, so why not give us a button that takes us to the gear shop? This whole recall wrench thing, it's absolutely pointless. Number five, and that is pet commands in chat. Now, for example, if you have pets that apply a certain mutation to your plants, what I feel like that should do is ping up in the chat so that you can go back and see just exactly what they have done. I feel like if I was to have a cooked owl, for example, I feel like it should put in the chat as well saying cooked owl, just cooked a moon melon, for example. I also feel like when it jumps up on the screen as well, it disappears so quickly. So if that little update could stay on the screen for maybe just a tad longer, so you can actually read what it has done or what fruit it has, you know, mutated, for example, I feel like that would be also a good change, but I just genuinely feel like what they should do is everything that your pets do, whether they mutate a fruit or they sing to something, they should put that into the chat so that you can scroll back and see just exactly what it did. Maybe I have a chicken zombie that has just zombified a, I don't know, a moon melon. So I go back into the chat, I see that, and I'm like, oh, I want to go and find that moon melon. Then, going back to point number 1, I use my X-ray goggles. I then I toggle the zombified fruit, and then I can go to that fruit and find it and harvest it if I want to. There's just a few things in this game that I would change, okay? Number 6, and that is stealing. Yeah, I feel like stealing absolutely sucks. Now, stealing is good, but what I feel like it should do is duplicate more than actually steal. Yes, I know you're paying Robux to steal, so they don't want to duplicate it because there's going to be ways around it, but think about it. That's your game that you're earning Robux on. But I feel like this whole stealing process actually stops people from going into public games, and they play private servers just because they're afraid of having their fruits stolen. So let's say someone wants to go into your garden and they want to steal, I don't know, something, I'm not sure, like a moon melon. Let's say there's a moon melon and it's quite expensive. Well, maybe they could do it so that it's more Robux to steal a bigger or more expensive fruit. So if I wanted to steal a strawberry, it would be 5 Robux. If I wanted to steal a huge candy blossom that's rainbow and zombified and celestial, then maybe it's 150 Robux, and it kind of stops people from stealing. But yeah, that's the game losing money, I suppose. But I just feel like there should be other ways around the whole stealing process. Number 7, and that is mutation picking ability. Now this kind of links back to the X-ray goggles, but what I feel like you should be able to do is if you wanted to, you know, harvest all of one mutation, then you should have that opportunity to filter and then go and harvest those fruits. And this could be, I don't know, a game pass or whatever, but I just feel like what we should be able to do is have the ability to filter mutations and then pick them accordingly. Number 8, and this is more of a bug thing, I think, more than actually one thing that I wanted implemented or changed into the game, and that is the search bar. When you are in, I don't know, your menu and you go to the seeds, for example, and then you start to type something in, but you've just done something slightly wrong, and then you click the X button to try and get rid of what you've just typed, it completely resets it. So it stops you from being on one menu and it takes you back to like the all menu, and that just bothers me a little bit too much. So I had to put that one in here, okay? That's number 8. I'm sorry. Number 9, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with me on this, and that is that all weathers to remain in the game. So let's say, for example, we have the V event right now. I know that we're going to be getting the summer update, so that might disappear very soon. But what they should do is, instead of changing things, is they should keep things in the game. They should keep the bee whole little section, the working bee, in the game. For example, we had the blood lit, the blood night, whatever it's called. That disappeared, completely disappeared, and I feel like that was one of the best ones, the best weathers that we had, because it made your fruits blood lit. So I feel like those weathers that were in the game before, they should have kept them in the game. After all, this whole entire game is literally about getting mutations on your fruits. So if they take out things like that, the weathers, then these mutations are just going to be completely pointless from now on. Number 10, easier ways to feed pets. Now, everybody's pet is literally starving of hunger right now, okay? Literally everybody's, because nobody feeds the pets. Now, maybe we should, I know they added in the moth hole situation, but what they should do is they should add like garden workers into the game, where, I don't know, they go and feed the pets to try and keep the pets updated. Now, if you're AFK, your pets are going to get hungry, and that is just the one thing about the game that I feel like a lot of people struggle with, and that is keeping their pets' hunger up. So I feel like they need to kind of rebalance that whole situation as well, and just try and work on that to try and help players keep their pets' hunger up, because keeping pets' hunger up is literally the least of everyone's worries at this point. But anyway, that is 10 things that I would change about Grow a Garden. Again, if you have any more suggestions, please make sure to let me know in the comment section down below, and if you could be using star code Antixx when you're buying Robux or Premium, that would be much appreciated. But until the next time, guys, a peace.